What's up, world? Welcome to City on My Chest, our new storefront in Patrick Henry Mall. We moved from our old storefront, which was 600 square feet, to our new 2,400 square foot store. When you walk in, you get the sports feeling. We got the basketball goal immediately, which is the main attraction to the $5 challenge. As you come in, you get into the merchandise, and I want to just break it down between tees and kind of our classic items. Our hottest new items are always right here. First thing, my newest shirt, always hustling with the lightning shorts, crazy. You got the iconic C on the floor. When people want to know what this logo is, I proudly tell them it's the C that stands for community, but it's also a location pin. That means this brand can go anywhere in the world and it makes sense. Bring you on to the back. Welcome to the Media Center. When you walk in, first thing you see is our podcast studio. Everybody knows podcasting is at an all-time high, and I wanted to join the gang. So here at City on My Chest, we have two sides. We talk about entrepreneurship, and we also talk about clothing, fashion, manufacturing, just giving free gems, giving the game. I've been in this for 14 years. We do shoot our own photography and video, but whenever we get a new drop, I have a model come in. As soon as we make the shirt, put it on, we can get it on the internet, and we have a high quality image within minutes. You got my son Zay playing the game. He probably losing. We got the pack and play for Trey when he gets here. And then if Zay's hogging up the TV, we can get Miss Rachel on one TV. We can get something for my girl on another TV. It's just a family environment at City on My Chest. So when you here, you become family. Welcome to City on My Chest.
One, he got the microphone, he got the setup here. I didn't have to bring, my own lights. He had his own lights here. Beautiful store. We did a tour at the store. I got Tommy Reamon here, owner of City on My Chest. You see some of his gear in the background. And Tommy, I really wanted to get down to. Like, we known each other for a while, so I'm like,
when did we meet?
That's all I say. When we was it like Warg Rec or something like that?
It was through basketball, and
I feel like it was like
a Warg Rec summer league.
Yeah, like we was hooping in that hot gym. I feel like,
yeah.
And a lot of cats came through that gym,
Definitely.
like that we know, and some of that we used to hoop with like coming up, because this area is just known for like that type of talent. Yes. And so talk to me a little bit about like your experience growing up here in Newport News.
First of all, I can't take credit for my setup because I had a great coach. And you were my coach. You sent me everything I needed to get, and all I did was click the link on Amazon.
It looks good.
And hit buy.
It looks good. It looks good.
But so I appreciate you getting me right.
Yeah.
And definitely even this setup that I have, I never even thought about the, above dome, and it's giving it, a whole nother dimension.
Yeah.
So you've been putting me on game.
Hey,
man. You've been putting me on game.
It's been a while since I came down here to check you out. So
last time we were here, we were in the old store.
Yeah. So run me through that though. Like, growing up here, like.
Growing up here, everybody knows, two names that come to mind. Mike Vick, Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so much more than just those two.
Yep.
Those two changed the game, but just down the line of names and names of names, it's people that's like true ballers, football and basketball. And it's guys that were super nice that didn't make it. Guys that we grew up with that it's like they might have had one foot in the streets or doing something that they weren't supposed to, but when it came to balling or hooping, it's like, yo, these cats were nice. And you got the ones who could just flat out handle both sides. Guys like you could shoot the heck out of basketball and handle his business, in the classroom and going to school. So, man, I've just seen so much over the years, and I continue to see that when I work with kids every day. And that's my job now, of trying to put my hands on them to say, hey, if you focus and you lock in, bro, you can be special. You can go somewhere, because this area is second to none in talent. I always say Virginia is pound for pound the toughest state out.
Definitely.
And when you think about the history on and off the court, the field, gymnastics, we're second to nobody. And we don't have a million people. We don't have a billion people like Florida, Cali, New York. I'm like pound for pound, VA the best, man, and it's proven.
I have to agree with you there as far as like just the pool of talent we have in a small, like, I mean, everything is 15 minutes away
Absolutely.
here, and so all these people we naming, I mean, they literally, blocks away from each other. And so when we talking about this area, you started your brand, you know based off of a location, like, represent your city, represent what you do, represent what you're about, where you're from. And so talk to me about like the process of opening up City on My Chest, starting the clothing brand, starting the shop, all of that.
It really started with an idea of one single T-shirt. I didn't have this store in mind. I didn't have a brand in mind. I was just proud of being from Newport News, Virginia. And they always say if you want to do something, follow a passion. And for me, being from the crib and the names that came before me, I'm honored to be from Newport News. I'm honored to be from the same city as Mike Tomlin, Mike Vick, Allen Iverson, Tyrod Taylor's, the B.W. Webbs, Antoine Bethea. Like, that means something to me. So when I made that shirt, I'm so Newport News, it really was just a chip on my shoulder saying, like, yo, I'm from a place of great athletes. I never thought that it was going to turn into somebody stopping me saying, hey, can I buy one of those? I'm looking down like, yeah, I guess, yeah, you can buy one. And then it changed into, can I put my city? Can I put Hampton? Can I put Virginia Beach? And that's when the light bulb went off. So here I'm making shirts. I mean, I probably made into the thousands of just custom T-shirts before I even really said, like, yo, I need to change this into something I can monetize. It's just not an idea anymore. This is legit. So that's how City on My Chest was born. It really was born just me being passionate, being from Newport News.
And all of that has brought you to this point here, where, I mean, you got a nice facility, you're doing some nice things in here, you got some nice gear, you got kids coming in here just to chop it up with you. Talk to me a little bit about that community work, because that's an aspect of City on My Chest that you recently received some, accreditation for and some awards for. So talk to me about that aspect of like reaching out to community and what that means to you.
So you know this, but for the ones who don't, it starts with my father. I've had a father that's been coaching for 36 years and truly fathered a community of guys who may or may not had that role model in their life. And I've seen my dad take kids in when they had nowhere to go, feed them when they had no food. So without even really paying attention to what he's doing, it became a piece of me. And as I got older, it was only right that I fostered those same traditions back into my community, because I had a role model that did it. And he didn't do it to get something from it. He didn't know Michael Vick was going to become the #1 draft pick of the NFL. He did it because he was a kid that had a dream, and he saw himself within those guys. So when I look at the kids, I see myself, and I'm like, yo, where would I be if I didn't have my dad? And if you are blessed to have a male role model, let me just be the icing on top. Like, yo, you got a good structure at home, but even when you out and about and I catch you, I'm going to make sure I'm still pumping in positive vibes, making sure you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So that's the DNA of the brand.
Yeah.
Like, when I look at the community, I look at every kid I see my face. Boy or girl, white or black. It's a kid with a dream that's trying to make it. And I've been blessed to touch the promised land and come back and give these gems. So I feel like it's my duty. I'm just doing what I'm called to do.
And when you say, go to the promised land, I mean, you've had your own career, and coaching and, as an athlete. Walk me through your career. I mean, you played, collegiately. I mean, you were coaching at the highest level, like walk me through that journey for you.
Definitely. So growing up, I was a two-sport guy. I played baseball for like a year or two. Just wasn't enough action. So football and basketball was my thing. Naturally, basketball would brought, our friendship, to life. But then when I hit high school, I was like, let me lock in on football. And I became the 24th ranked quarterback in the nation, received a bunch of offers, ended up signing with ODU, a new program. Went there, competed, didn't win the starting spot. And that's what, for the first time, I was hit in the face with adversity. Like, what am I going to do? I'm not the man. I'm not the guy. And the transfer portal wasn't a thing like that. So I'm like, I got to fight it out. I got to thug it out. So I spent 4 years trying to get on the field. And my last 2 years, I started getting into the rotation at different positions. And then another guy came in by the name of Taylor Heineke. He plays on Sunday to this day. So I feel like, I didn't lose out to, somebody, a scrub. Like, he's legit.
Yeah.
So I graduated from ODU after playing 4 years, and I'm like, what am I going to do? I said, I got to stick to what I know, coaching. So I went on the coaching journey. And as you know, coaching can be year to year, spot to spot, big school, little school. So within 7 to 8 years, I was at UVA, the Pittsburgh Steelers, University of Miami, Christopher Newport, Virginia Tech, the New Orleans Saints. All only a year or two at each location. So I lived out of my suitcase. I slept in the facility, ate the food that they fed us in the cab because we didn't make a lot of money, and just found my way. And then eventually I felt like I was getting older, and I'm like, yo, I don't want to be 40 in the same entry-level position. I got faith in my craft, but at the end of the day, I don't want to wake up 10 years from now still fighting entry-level job to job. Even in the NFL, like, I don't want to be team to team as, the entry-level scout. So I got let go by the Saints. Came back home, didn't know what to do. Close friend said, yo, what's up with the brand? I was like, yo, you right. Made some shirts, popped the trunk. I had a Chevy Malibu. We hit the streets. Literally popping the trunk. Start selling tees.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like that journey right there is one that I feel like, as an entrepreneur, you could lay your hat on that because you've been at a point where you were, trying to achieve something that was what your perceived dream was, right? And then, that doesn't, come to fruition. And then you have to find a way and taking that leap of faith into the brand, discovering yourself. I mean, I feel like, being a business owner is the place where you really find out who you are.
Absolutely.
And you find out a lot about yourself just by, just going through the challenges and adversity of running and operating your own business. And this, like being in a space like this and having your brand in the store, on the sign outside the building, like you've reached a high level. Most business owners don't get to this point, in business. And I think that's something that you can, really be proud of. So when it comes to the business aspect of it, what is something like that you would just give for as far as advice to somebody who want to, pursue this, pursue, clothing line, whatever it is,
It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Like you said, you walk in, you see the sign lit up, you see, clothes on the wall, content studio in the back, and it was not always like this. I've had some moments where I was down bad, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about quitting. You know what I mean? So I really had to find my purpose, had to do some soul searching, which my father would always say, and really dig deep to say, like, yo, if you're truly passionate about this, it's going to be some moments. You just got to keep going. And I know that sounds very cliche, but that's really what you got to do. Yep. You got to keep going. Because truth be told, I had some moments where I could have easily said, you know what, I'm good. I'm going to try something else, take a safer route, go get a 9 to 5, which nothing's wrong with that. But I really believe that this is my calling. And I'm like, bro, there's nothing that's going to stop me. Not mall management, not customers, not myself, not family, nothing is going to stop me. And I'm like, yo, once you figure out your purpose and you find your alignment, it's just one foot in front of another. And it's like, it's going to be dark moments. It might be one day, could be 1 year, could be 10 years. But if you keep going, I promise you, you'll get out the light.
And that's the type of grit that I feel like you got to have, you know what I'm saying, to kind of achieve at that high level. Talk to me a little bit, because I feel like, you a coach, and you still coach high school ball now, and like I'm starting to get into coaching now. I'm starting to train kids for basketball, and there's a lot of patience involved in that. And there's a lot of, blood, sweat, and tears involved in, like, pouring yourself into. I mean, it's a draining job, like, trying to pour into a kid, trying to get the best out of them, and you kind of want to see them, succeed in that sport or just in life in general, right? And like, talk to me a bit about where you feel like the state of like youth sports is right now, where you feel like the state of like just kind of. I know it's different than how it was when we grew up.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's
night and day.
Yeah.
When we were, I think one thing I had to learn, I had to start meeting kids where they are at. I got my expectations. I done played at a high level. I know this, I know that. I'm giving you the game. I want you to get here right now. And that's not the case. I went home frustrated so many nights. And I'm like, yo, why they not listening? Why they not doing? I'm telling them boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, yo, I got to meet people where they are at. And for some, their ceiling may only be a certain level. But I know if I'm getting the best out of you, I'll take that. And it's like, I meet kids that really can go. And I'm like, yo, bro, you can play on the next level. You can go to college if you really apply yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some kids who just out here just because they want to play or they being forced to play.
Yeah.
But I had to realize, like, yo, everybody doesn't want to make it professionally.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody doesn't want to get paid to play a sport for a living. Some people are just here as a hobby. So I had to make sure I wasn't exerting myself to the point that your effort is pissing me off because this is who you want to be. And I'm like, yo, instead of taking big steps, we're taking steps like this.
Yeah.
Because I realize I can't pull you as hard as I want to.
Yeah.
So let me come down to your level and we can go together to get to where we want to go.
And like, that's something I had to learn too. So like in training kids, like a lot of the kids that come to me, they're not the most skilled kids. You know what I'm saying? I've always told my wife, I'm like, yo, if I could just get like some really skilled kids, like it'll be over, right? But I'm taking these kids that, they got two left feet, right? And I'm teaching them in like progressively, like step by step, like how to do a skill. Some kids can just look at something and they can just do it, right? And you demonstrate it one time and then they got it. But then there's those other kids that they challenge you as a coach to see like, okay, like how good of a coach are you? You know what I'm saying? Like you could, it's easy to coach like the super talented kids. Can you coach somebody who doesn't really have the talent or doesn't really have the athletic ability to compete with the best of them? Can you teach that kid how to do things at a high level? And that's what I really like. I'm a very compassionate coach. I like to appeal to the emotional side of athletes because I felt like that was the most important part for me growing up. I needed somebody to help me and show me and guide me, not only with the skill set, but with the emotional aspect that comes along with, being an athlete, trying to, stay confident in what you're doing. And so like, you talked about like your career when you were younger, like how did you deal with the mental aspect? Because I feel like, with business, there's that mental aspect too. But then in sports, there's that mental aspect of like, you on a bench now. You got to figure out like where this all plays out. So talk to me about like the mental aspect, of you, as a sports athlete.
I think I had to realize no matter what, I am good enough. Because a lot of times, if you get sat on the bench, the first thing we think is, you not good enough, you suck, you sorry. And we take that as a person. Like, not just the athlete Tommy. Tommy as a person isn't good enough. And I'm like, I know I'm good enough, but I got to find a way to display that. I might got to tweak some things, work a little harder. In business as well. When business is slow and no sales is coming in, I'm not like, yo, my business sucks. I'm like, yo, we got to go back to the drawing board. I know I'm good enough. I know this business is good enough. But sometimes you got to get back on that drawing board. And that's kind of the mindset I had to develop over and over again. And once you think you figured it out, it can plateau again. And you like, yo, I thought we got past this. But here we are again trying to figure it out. So sports and business, like you keep saying, goes hand in hand. Dealing with I even call them team members. They're not employees. I call them team members. And I'm the head coach. dealing with those guys is the same as dealing with teammates. And I feel like emotionally, the skill set, I can teach you how to make a shirt, but being able to bring somebody emotionally to a higher level, to believe in themselves or raise the bar, that's the real win. Helping my dad at Denby High School 2 years ago, they scored 1 touchdown, didn't win a game. Last year, we still didn't win a game, but scored 18 touchdowns, right? But the record still says 0-10. But I know, we had to get in our bag to grow that much. Like, know what I mean? I really felt proud of me. I'm like, yo, I'm not going to get the credit, but I'm one hell of a coach.
Yeah.
To take this offense from scoring 1 TD to 18.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, we were in a shootout versus Minchville.
Yeah.
It came down to the end of the game.
Yeah.
Like, Denby hasn't been in that predicament in forever. So me knowing that I got us to that moment, I didn't need the pat on the back. I was comfortable enough knowing, like, yo, like, you start talking to yourself, TR, you did your thing. You did your thing, bro. Like, and you may not get your flowers for it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it's all about finding who you are as a person and relentlessly going after that every day.
Yeah.
And with my guys, I'm like, yo, we just going to keep working. And then they start seeing it, and they start looking around like, oh, we are getting better. And then once that confidence comes, now we can start tapping in to some new levels.
That reminds me of like, so, you know, this last season, basketball, coaching my son, you know, and, you know, I got a couple of good kids, but majority of my kids, you know, we just trying to pull stuff together. I got kids can't dribble, you know, and so, you know, I'm bringing the mindset of, yo, like, let's just get better each day, and let's work hard each day. If we work hard each day, I promise you, you'll be better, and you'll be at a good place by the end of the season. And the kids bought into it, and that's part of the thing is, like, once they see they're incrementally getting better, like, oh, last week I couldn't do this, and now I can do it, and then, you know, where can I take that if I keep going this route? And so they started buying in, and now we at a position where they 1-0, 2-0. They go undefeated the whole season, win the championship. And if you look at that team versus the teams that we playing against, I got this team. It's, you know, it's a mixed group of kids. Got some white kids, got some black kids, got some Hawaiian kids. I got all plethora of kids that, like, if you look at that group, it's like a bunch of scrubs that you just put together. And then we going against Crenshaw, and you know what I'm saying? And the parents,
they can really hoop over there.
Yeah, they can hoop over there, you know, and they beat them out for the championship. And it wasn't because, when I look back at it, it wasn't because they were better than them skill-wise. It was because they decided that they're going to take, you know, no shortcuts, and take it step by step, and grow and go through the process, and come out on the other side with the confidence, with the skill level that they need as a team to beat the opposition. And so I think that was a part that I like to bring to the table as a coach / parent. And I'm dealing with, I got 3 boys. You got a new son, a brand new one. He a year now. He a year. So
July 29th,
like,
he'll be a year.
Yeah, what is that like? I mean, because that's a whole nother challenge going into fatherhood and figuring that out. Now you a year in, like, what's that like?
All the free time that I had that I took for granted, you realize that you don't have it anymore, and, like, scheduling and just being on top of things, because he is a handful. Yeah. And first and foremost, I want to be there for him, and it's like I'm not missing anything. But at the same time, I have a business that I'm trying to grow, and it's like, how do you balance that? And it gets frustrating at times. Like, and it's not because you don't love your son or you don't love your business, but it's a lot on your plate. And experience is the only way to get through it, of trying to learn, talk to people in similar situations. But I was just trying to figure it out. And I'm like, man, life as I knew it is not the same. Like, I really don't have time just to kind of chop it up for 2 hours with the boys. I'm like, I ain't got that time no more. Yeah. And even with my lady, my girl, she's an entrepreneur. So you mix her schedule into the mix.
She's working.
She's like, it's round the clock. Yeah. Like, we trying to figure this thing out. But I wouldn't change it for the world. You know, Trey, Tommy Reamon III, is my second heartbeat. Yeah. And it's like, I want to give him the world. along with teaching him lessons and telling him to apply himself, and
Yeah.
curious if he's gonna want to play sports, because I don't want to force him.
You don't
But
want to force him. You
But
don't want to force him.
fatherhood is, I was blessed to have a wonderful dad.
Yeah.
My dad, one thing my dad did was he showed up every single time. And now I feel like anything short of that is me not doing, him justice. So.
Your pops, I will say this, like, when I look back at my basketball career, my sports career, like your pops, Chris Pops,
Coach Ben
yeah.
Moore, yep.
I mean, I got a whole list of guys that were there, like figures of role models that you like, man, this coach, he everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, he over here, he at the church. He like, you know what I'm saying? And so like those guys that have been there and seeing like parents and dads like step into that position and wanting to be there for their kid. And that's clutch, man. And I think it's something that we kind of seen it growing up, and like we experienced it growing up, and so like that's just how we, like, I seen what your dad was, I seen what my dad was, and then
it set the tone for us.
It sets the tone for you. And
tone.
So I will say this though, coaching your kids is tough. I got 3 boys. My oldest, I wanted to push him towards basketball, but I took the same route you did, right? Or you're thinking, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to push him to do anything. I'm going to let him choose. I will say this. With my oldest, it took him a longer time to figure out what it was that he was interested in doing, because I allowed him to kind of just jump and hop from thing to thing. And so, as I, had more kids, I started, trying different things. And I will say I wish I would have, with my oldest, got him, to dedicate himself sooner, just because, not because of the sports aspect, just because of the type of discipline it takes or it teaches you as a young man, because it's harder to teach that discipline as they get older, right? It's harder to teach them to be focused in on something as they get older. And it's not just that I want you to play football.
Yeah.
I want you to be focused in on a goal, achieve that goal, and know what it feels like to achieve a goal, and stick to something and then get better at it, right? Because that's something that can be applied to anything. So no matter what the sport is. Now my son, he's into swim, and now he's learning what that dedication means, right? And he more so learned it from his younger brother and sister, who stuck with something, and then he saw them excelling at it. He's like, yo, like, where my thing at, And so, but now he's locked in. He's locked in to swim, and he's killing it. We think that he might have broken the record for the breaststroke, and his I wasn't no swimmer.
Yeah.
But like, he found his thing, and like now my thing is to pour into him, make sure he has what he needs to succeed. So what is it that you're doing to pour into some of these kids? Because like I know you have a lot of these programs for the youth in the community.
One thing I want to touch on is what you said, that sports teach you things that you can use the rest of your life. Like, I almost, football pops in my mind 24/7, dealing with people, dealing with customers, dealing with my family. Like, it's things that the game can teach you that, a book can't. And it's funny you said that, because you like, yo, I'm putting you into this not for the actual sport. That's cool and all, basketball, football, but the dedication, the grit, the consistent showing up, working hard, friendship, being a good teammate, like, those are things that last a lifetime. And it's like things that I know, but now that I'm in fatherhood, it's like looking at it through a different lens.
Yeah.
And I like the way you put that, because now I'm like, yo, maybe I will push him a little bit.
Yeah.
Because for real, like you said, it ain't about the game. it's about you committing to something. Because my dad always told me, like, if you start something, you're not going to quit.
You got to finish it.
You got to finish it. And I really bought into that to the point now, like, when I started something, I'm like, yo, I can't quit. Pops won't let me. Now, as an adult, I'm like, yo, I can't quit. So I love the way you put that. And I'm definitely going to keep that in mind. And, like, yo, I might push them because I'm like, yo, this is going to teach you things that you're going to use forever.
And it does not, and people look at it like, you know, why are you making them do what you, it's really, I know this the most, so that might be the thing that I push you to do. If you find something else, I could care less what it is, but we're going to stick, if we start it, we're going to finish it. My pops was the same way. If we start it, I don't care how you feel about it. You can quit at the end of the season, but you ain't gonna quit now. Like, you're gonna go through the process, and then by the end of it, you can decide to do something else. And I think a parent had asked me that, one of my subscribers or whatever had asked me that, like, how do you decide, you know, what to put them in and what to take them, you know, when is it okay for them to come out? It's okay for them to change their mind and pick a new sport to do. It's not okay for them to stop in the middle of a season.
Absolutely.
And because there's going to be ups and downs, right?
That's life.
You're going to go up and down, and you're going to have different emotions towards it, but you're going to see that through. And then once you've seen it through, and you can look back at it, and you can say, you know what, maybe that's something I'll never do again. Or you can say, you know what, you know, I've learned a lot from it, and I like to take that to the next thing that I'm going to do. Whatever it is, I don't care what your decision is, but we're going to have to stick to something and learn what it means to be disciplined.
We're going to go about it the right way.
The right way.
We're going to go about it the right way.
And I see so many parents, though, nowadays, they will just let their kid just hop from spot to spot just because they don't like, you know what I'm saying, what's going on, or like what position they're given. I had a kid that was like, yeah, I want to play point guard. I'm like, what makes you a good point guard? And you know,
serious question. Like, what makes you a good point guard?
Like how do you expect to be someone's point guard if, you know, every time, you know, a bad play happens, you berating the other players, or you pouting, and, you know, you can't be my floor general like that.
No, sir.
You know, and so I think you pushing them early. Hey, let me put it this way: if you don't push them early, then the world gonna push them later.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the world push hard. when you hit the world and it push, yeah. So
life's gonna punch you in the face.
So I mean, you're setting them up for success.
Somebody told me, uncoachable kids turn into uncoachable adults.
Yep.
And it's like, sooner or later you're gonna have a boss, somebody you're gonna have
unemployable adults.
Yeah, yep. And it's like, what are you gonna do? Oh, I don't like it. I'm like, yo, you gonna quit?
You gonna quit?
You got a family that's dependent on you.
Yeah.
You're just gonna come home like, yeah, I don't
done.
like the way he talked to me. So nah, life don't work that way.
It don't work that way.
My kids at Denby, I swear, they like, Coach, you always so serious.
Yeah.
And I get it from my dad because he always say life is serious. Mm-hmm. And at that age, it's like you may not foster what he's saying, but then as you get older, it starts to click. And I'm like, bro, my dad told me life is always like 4th and 1. I was like, okay, I kind of get that. Now that I get older, I'm like, yo, life is like 4th and 1.
Yeah.
What you gonna do? We gonna get it, or what?
Not.
Like, what are you gonna do? And and I'm glad he always believed in me and he pushed me, and I'm so thankful that he was that way, and he always supported, like you said, what I did, but I had to go about it the right way.
Yeah.
You don't want to play basketball next year? Cool, but you're not about to quit.
Yeah.
Mid-season to say you're not gonna play basketball.
Nah.
We're gonna get through it, and if you don't want to play next year,
that's cool.
But we're not quitting anything, because if you quit now, you're quitting life.
And it makes it easier for the next time to quit. And so, like, we talking about parents, sports. Talk to me about, I know you know the Bronny situation. What's your take on that? I've had mixed feelings, but
Same.
like, you know, like I would love to hear like what you think about that.
See, I got mixed reviews.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I come from somebody that had a dad that played pro sports, that I know I reaped benefits whether I knew it or not at the time, because my dad built a platform for himself. And ultimately, somebody may say, oh, that's not fair, but what are we doing this for? Like, what am I busting my butt now not to hand my son nothing? Like, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
I think because he got the leverage as a player
Mm-hmm.
that's still active, the world has a different take on it.
Take on it, yeah.
Because if I own a team, when I don't want to own it no more, if I pass away, there's no question who I'm handing it to.
Yep.
My child, right?
Yeah.
And nobody says anything. But the
Mm-hmm.
fact that LeBron is so visible and so great, I think that they have an issue that he has, because he's supposed to have a boss, head coach, front office, GM. The fact that I think his decisions are to that level, people have an issue with it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, yo, this guy has done enormous things for the game of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody got mad because I said, yo, the Lakers can't, or the NBA can't pay him enough to his worth of what he gave the game the last 20 years. It's a reason why other countries, China, blah, 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 is paying attention. He's a main piece of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times he gets paid a lot of money, but a lot of times the dollars don't equate to
what
everybody in the world probably knows the name LeBron James.
To what he's given to the game.
What he's getting, like, come on now. So if that comes with me wanting my son to play on this team, I think it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's fair.
I think you hit it right where, where it kind of touches the aspect of like fatherhood, right? Setting the next up for success. When we were growing up, I had to pay for my own way through school. I got my little scholarship, whatever. But then now I'm like, yo, I don't want my son to have to pay his own way through school. I want him to have enough in his account that he can go ahead and just, pay for school himself, or he can go start a business or whatever he wants to do. And so I think it's our job, one, to teach them what it means to work hard for something, but also, two, we don't want to make it so that we're starting completely over again. I mean, this is a legacy that we're trying to build. We're trying to build a situation where our ancestors, our heirs, have the opportunity to live a better life than we did.
Absolutely.
And so that comes from getting a head start, right? And I think, Bronny has gotten a head start, by having his father be such an influential player. I've always said that Bronny was going to go, I felt like Bronny was going to go first round. Mm-hmm. I felt like no sporting organization or NBA organization should have passed him up because of the level of attention he would have brought
Absolutely.
To whatever whatever organization.
I'm telling people, I'm like, yo, I don't care what he scored in college. The NBA files as a entertainment business.
Mm-hmm.
This is entertainment. That name, Bronny James, brings dollars, attention. And I'm like, yo, I'm like you. I'm grabbing him. Like, I don't care what y'all saying.
I'm taking
2
him off
points,
top.
1 point, 0.5, come on over here. Because right now, the whole world is paying attention to us. And I think the fans sometimes get caught into it actually being a game, which it is. But I'm like, yo, this is a business. This is a business. Winning is cool, and it equates to more money. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to generate revenue to keep this thing going. And right now, Bronny James is the cream of the crop. How are you the 55th pick, but the biggest name in the draft?
Yeah. I mean, there's plenty of first round draft picks that we don't know of anymore, and they haven't done anything in the league, and they were killing in college, but the NBA is a whole different ball game, and also it's just it's really about the business aspect of it, and are you able to take advantage of the business aspect of it? There's cats like Patrick Beverley, right? Who he made a name for himself as a defender, as an aggravator, right? And he plays that role incredibly well, right?
Very well.
And it sells tickets, and it makes the game interesting, and he's found a niche that he can continue his career in. But in high school, he was a killer.
Crazy.
Like he was going crazy, 40 points a game, something like that. So it's really about like what can you do with the next level for
Yeah.
the game, and Bronny brings attention, and that's what he offers to the game, and he may even bring a level of play that we
talent
haven't
that can
seen
help.
before.
And I think this: if it's any kid I had to take a gamble on, the DNA, the makeup,
Mm-hmm.
you are the son of the LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
You were born when he was in the NBA. All you know is high-level basketball. Been around it your entire
Mm-hmm.
life. There's no way, and he's a good kid. There's no way I'm thinking you're not going to pan out. I don't care. And he came off a heart
Yeah.
deal in college
And
too.
still,
Like, yeah, that's still fresh. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, I'm taking Bronny James, no ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Yeah.
And I'm letting him do the next Space Jam.
Yeah. I don't know why he wasn't in that movie.
Yeah,
Like,
I felt like they should have brought him in, and then it would have been clear, like, the passing of the next one could have been.
I felt like it would have been a better movie because those characters really didn't do a lot of acting in that movie. So I don't know. He could have been fine. Maybe he just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. But let's dive into a little bit more of the business aspect when it comes to, like, city on my chest. Where do you see it like going in the future? Like, what's your end goal here?
What's crazy is when I
Mm-hmm.
opened up my store 4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I had a vision, and it's completely changed since I opened up, my original store. I wanted a store in every state. I wanted this, I wanted that, and now I'm like, I'm cool with one store.
Mm-hmm.
E-commerce is the way. I would like to ship worldwide, and I would like to build community platforms in every city. I don't need a physical store, but if I had a city team in Raleigh, North Carolina, in Harlem, New York, that acts and carries the way the brand is here,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's monumental to me.
Yeah.
But I didn't always have that vision. I wanted to feel like I had to be physically there and have a footprint. But now I'm like, man, I could sell all around the world. Keep the store, have the overhead of one store and not the overhead of 50 stores. Because truth be told, it takes $20,000 to keep the store full.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not always selling each and every day. So now that's $20 that I'm forever not making back because I got to keep something,
Yeah.
So when you start learning those tricks of the trade, it kind of shifts your mind some. But ultimately, I think that City on My Chest is here forever.
Yeah.
I would love to hand it over to my son if he wants it, or a family member. But all in all, I think that we've created something that it's organic as it gets.
Mm-hmm.
It's organic as it gets. And I mean that from the ground up.
Yeah.
When I walk into schools now, it's not Tommy Reamon, the football player. It's not Tommy Reamon, the Steelers coach, the Saints coach. It's like, yo, you're City on My Chest. Kids walk in the gate, and I come from the back, and they be like, yo. I'm like, what's up? I ain't think you was going to be here.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm really like, yo, what do you mean? They was like, yo, we just see you on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I'm a real person.
Yeah.
I come from right down the street.
Yeah.
And now I feel like my goal, my vision is showing these kids that dreams are tangible, and they're closer than you think because I'm living proof.
Yeah, and I feel like you've created something here with this brand that feels good. You know what I'm saying? Like there's many brands that they feel like work, and I feel like with what you're doing, you're giving back, you're pouring into community. Like, it feels good to be a part of what you're doing, and it feels right. It feels like something that the city needs. It feels like something that the youth and the next generation needs. To have someone like you as a role model, have a brand like yours as a staple to look up to in the community, and the stuff that you're doing, man, is incredible. I'm super appreciative to even be able to sit here, chop it up with you, and be able to like just be a part of like the legacy that you're building in any form of fashion. And if there's anything you need or anything I can give you, man, I'm always open and willing to do it. You know what I'm saying?
And one thing I give you your flowers is I love watching you grow from us being teenagers to young adults to you being the father, the husband.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I really admire that.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate
even
it.
to this journey of me, new equipment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you've always been like a call away.
Man.
And like, bro, if you can't figure it out, call me back. Or, hey, send me a video so I can see.
Man.
And like, I really appreciate that because, like, we're busy people.
Yep.
And time is not on our side. And like, when people take time to help you out, I really want to say thank you because I appreciate that, bro. I feel like you truly care about, know what I mean, like city on my chest going where you think, where I say I wanted to go and where you think it can go. And I'm like, yo, T really believe in the mission.
Yeah,
and
man.
a lot of times people come along just riding a wave. It's the cool thing at the time.
Yeah.
But like the conversations we have, bro, like at times when I get down, you pop into my mind. I'm like, yo, T, what T was talking about on the phone. And every time we talk, it's supposed to be quick. We'd be on the phone for like an hour. Like,
never be quick.
Like I said, yo, man, T been on the phone 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But nah, I truly want to say thank you, bro. Like, I appreciate
for real.
you. Like, I love it. You're well-rounded, bro.
I appreciate it,
and
man.
I mean that.
Yeah, man. That like, it makes me feel good because like I want people to know like that when I start doing something or start like trying to pour in, it's because like, I don't know, it comes from something in me that I didn't get when I was younger, that I felt like, you know, somebody didn't stick up for me when I wanted them to, or somebody didn't like give me the key when I needed the key. And it's like, yo, I like anything I can give to somebody else that I, you know, admire and that I want to see succeed, I'm gonna give you everything I got. You know what I'm saying? Because that could be the difference between, you know what I'm saying, you deciding that you want to continue on doing what you're doing, and it's so good what you're doing that I you know, whatever I can do to help you do that, you know, I'm more than willing to do this. And like, I think also in the realm of social media, and this is like something that, you know, is difficult to kind of grasp as a, like, I never wanted to do social media. I never, like, social media was something that was kind of placed upon me. And
you're great
like,
at it, by the way.
Well, I appreciate it. But my wife was a social media influencer. And so, like, you know, I started doing a lot of stuff just to help her. And then, you know, I kind of got put in that position where people wanted to see more of me and more of what I do. And so I started, you know, sharing that stuff but I've never naturally been a social media influencer. I never wanted to, but what I see in the space a lot is like people will do what you're saying, like they will ride the wave, or they'll try to hop on or you know, steal from you or take from here, and it's never coming from a genuine place. And you know, I've ran into it so many times in my career of just running into people who they're not genuine. All they want to do is climb the ladder. And like, the ladder is cool. Like, I want to climb the ladder, but I also want to take somebody with me up the ladder. I also want to, you know, do good for the community, because it's bigger than that. Once you get up the ladder, if you by yourself, you know what I'm saying, then you're going to ultimately be unfulfilled. And the fulfilling part for me is like giving what I have to offer. And if I'm not pouring out what I have, then like, what am I holding on to it for? Like, what am I gaining all this knowledge about lighting and all this other stuff? And what am I gaining it for if I'm not going to be willing to give it to you?
I learned a lot today.
You know what I'm saying? So
I can't wait to put my homies on.
Yeah, right.
So the type of setup we have. You know, it's my key light right here. You know,
like, so, all that, man.
Nah, man, that's what's
all
up.
That,
you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. And two things that always stand out to me is a good heart and work ethic.
Yeah.
They got those two, bro. It's like, yo, I'll tell you or give you whatever I can.
Yeah.
I had a young man that I worked with when I was at Virginia Tech, and he hit me like, yo, first of all, he wasn't talented enough to start. So super backup, right? Great kid, though. You know what I mean? Always pleasant, talking to me. What's up, Coach? Woo. He graduates, and he hits me like, yo, I'm trying to be a scout. I'm like, okay, bet. He said, I got an interview with the Denver Broncos. I said, bro, text me at 8 p.m. tonight. I went home, got my files right. He texted me at 8. I sent him over everything, bro. I said, yo, this what they going to ask you. This is what they going to want you to do, how to grade a player. I said, bro, just study this, and when you go in there, bro, just be you. And he called me back. He said, bro, I killed the interview. Like, they were impressed. I said, bro, you deserve it. Like, know what I mean? Like, I said, I don't want to be a scout no more. But if this is your calling, and one day you keep fighting and you make it to a GM, maybe my job was to become a scout just to be able to make sure you got there, bro. Like, that was my calling, just to give that to you. Because I'm like, yo, bro, like, this not my dream anymore. This your dream. And if I can give you a nugget or two, bro, I tell you, I'm going to give you the world. And to this day, you know what I mean, he's still climbing the charts doing his thing. And not that he wasn't good enough. It was almost like, yo, bro, I want to make sure they can't deny you, bro. Like, because sometimes you got to be undeniable. I tell people, don't be good enough, be undeniable. Because sometimes they'll throw that door, close that door on you. So
that speaks back to, like, what I feel like the Bronny James situation is, right? But then also, like, you hit it on the head there. It's like you don't want people to have to work harder than they have to. Give them the key, give them the information they need so they can take it to the next level. And you said something else that really I really wanted to touch on, but I can't even think of it right now. But
it's gonna hit you too.
Yeah, it's gonna hit me. I'm like, dang. But now I feel like when you give that type of energy, you know, it always allows you to feel better about, like, the path that you're on, and the path, and that's it right there. And I just thought about it. You said that maybe it was your calling to do the work, just so you can hand it over. And I was telling my wife, like, it's not always about the Jordans or the LeBrons. Sometimes, or the Steph Currys, right? There was a coach that was there that said something to him that made it click. That they created the Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? They created the LeBron James. And I'm pretty sure they all have that person in their mind that sticks out to them. They're like, if such and such didn't say that to me. I mean, for Iverson, it's a coach from Georgetown. I forgot what his name is. But he gave him a chance. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's those people who really make the guy who we all, like, looking up to, like, man, how you get to there? It was that one coach that was in his ear, right? They was telling him, like, yo, you got this, you can do this,
a lot of times they see it within us before we can see it.
Yep.
We kind of on the fence, like, I think I'm good enough.
Yeah.
No, you are good enough. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you are that. You can be that.
And we all need that person that's pouring into us like that, that's believing in us when we don't believe in ourselves. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So,
and just keep encouraging us, because with all the success that I see, I still have moments where I get a compliment and it motivates me, bro.
You're like, dang.
I really appreciate that. Or I'll post something and somebody come comment about it or catch me. It was like, yo, that joint was crazy. And I'm like, oh, you saw that? And I'm like, yo, like, that really motivates me to keep me going. And a lot of times people say, like, yo, you don't need my compliment. But I'm like, yo, a lot of times I do.
You do,
Like, it goes a long ways, especially when I know it comes from a good place.
Yeah.
So I love to share light and show love too, because I'm like, yo, who knows what my compliment can do for a person.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when kids come in, I try to love them up.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you playing this year? What position?
Yeah,
you
where
score?
you at?
Yeah, make them feel good. Like, because, bro, like, I know it was people in my life, like you said, that when I walked away, I felt great.
Yeah.
Whether they knew it or not.
You felt better.
That meant something to me. So.
Yeah, and that I think for me, right, I always felt like there was never that person that, like, was like, you know what, T, come on. And I feel like it came, like, at the very end of my career as a basketball player. I had one coach was like, man, you know what? If you would have played for me, man, it would have been a totally different. Like, I see what's happening, like, at your, like, where you at. And, back then you didn't hop from school to school.
You rolled it out.
But, like, you rolled it out. And so, like, what happened with me was more so I was stuck in this situation where I was, like, not trying to make a mistake. Instead of having someone there that was, like, trying to say, nah, make the mistake, right? Make the mistake and learn from it. And then and be unapologetic about the way you play and the way, the way you ball, and just having that freedom to be yourself, right? Someone believing in that allows you to be like, you know what, I did do my thing right there, you know what I'm
Crazy you
saying?
say that. T, I just seen an interview with Jason Williams, White Chocolate, and somebody was, I think it was All of the Smoke with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, and they asked like, yo, how did you get the confidence? He said, yo, my head coach gave me the green light as a rookie. He said, yo, if you go behind your back and throw it out of bounds with your right, try next time with the left.
Yeah.
And he said, yo, I had no fear out there, whether I messed up or not. And he was like, that gave my confidence, a boost that now the self-belief is through the roof. Because I got somebody who was like, yo, I know you're going to make mistakes and it's okay. We here to correct them and get better. But I'm not going to just punish you and down you. Like, yo, no, you're good enough, do you. You're special. So when he said that and when you said that, I said, that's what White Chocolate was talking about. He was like, bro, my coach believed in me.
Bro,
so I went out there and whatever came to my mind, like, yo.
It makes a huge difference.
And he became great.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, imagine if his coach was the other way.
Imagine if
we might not even know who he is to this day, and that's crazy.
You can put those players in a box, or you can open up the world to them. I got players now that I pour into them those type of like conversations strictly because I knew it wasn't poured into me, and I know what it does to those kids psychologically, feeling like oh man, like if I make a mistake, like coach gonna take me out, or if I make a mistake, nah.
Yeah,
good job. Next time, throw it this way. You know what I'm saying? Next time, use your right hand. Next time, go to the rack. We're not about not making mistakes. We're about learning from them. You know what I'm saying? And so kids sometimes they get so caught up in the mistakes that they're making, and not knowing that like, yo, that's part of growth. That's part of in business. You're gonna make mistakes. You're gonna try some stuff that ain't gonna work out. But the sooner you get to making the mistake, the sooner you get to like finding out what the correct answer is, the better, right? But you gotta be willing to find the answer. Like, you got a product, put it out there, right? That way people can say, hey, you know what? That I don't like that part. I don't like this part. Okay, bet. I'm gonna move the joint over here. I'm gonna do that. Now I got the right answer, right?
That doesn't mean you're not good enough.
It doesn't mean you're not good enough.
Doesn't mean you're not good enough.
So, yeah, man, look, I appreciate you, dog. This was good. We could probably go for another hour or so.
Hour or two.
So
these subjects are heartfelt.
So,
it means something to me because I'm like, yo, everything you talking about, I see within myself. I want to instill in my son. I think about what my dad instilled in me just by believing in me. Like, son, you could be whatever you want to be. And he really meant that. So I grew up kind of unrealistically thinking, I can be this, I can be that. I didn't realize the work that came along with it. But the mindset was like, yo, you can be the #1 draft pick in the NFL. Like, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to be that because I looked at somebody who made it. They came over my house every day. I'm like, bro, like, I can do this. We just don't realize the work that really comes along with it until we get older. Like, okay, yeah, you can be a draft pick,
but you gotta
apply yourself. That dedication is different. So, all in all, man, I appreciate you, T.
Bro.
And like you said, we can go on forever, bro.
It's been good,
I
man.
know. Sharpshooter, TJ. I'm like, TJ shoot that rock.
Look,
for those who may not know, or the kids. When he tell y'all he could shoot back in the day, he probably still can shoot.
Look,
he used to light us up.
Look, I'm teaching kids now, and one of the ways I teach them is like we play a shooting game. I like, all right,
let's go.
Like, shoot. All right, let's shoot, and I'm hitting. So what we do is I let them shoot first, And so if they miss, it's my goal. If they make it, they get to stay on, keep shooting first to 20. And man, I'm at 15. I'm stroking them, back to back to back, and they at 2. And so but that's how I get them to buy in to like okay, like, you ready to shoot like that? You know what I'm saying? The difference is like I'm like super efficient at like how I shoot, and they could be too, but they just got to buy into the fact that like yo, this is the way I need to shoot if I'm going to be a good shooter. So, nah, man, like I'm enjoying that whole coaching stuff, man.
What they call you, Coach T? Coach
I mean,
TD?
Yeah, Coach TJ. You know, I don't know. I try to get them to say Coach T, but it don't always stick.
Yeah.
It don't always stick.
But it's funny now because I try to kids I'm so close with. They come in and they be hitting me with the Tommy.
Yeah.
So now I be like, yo,
hey,
Coach
Tommy.
Yeah, Coach Tommy. Like I know
you
we
gotta,
here.
Yeah, we tight, but not that tight.
Not that tight.
Yeah.
I ain't your boy.
We up there in age now. We in the 30s, man.
They be hitting me with
so
the
they
like, now. They be coming in like, what's up, Unc? I'm like, yo, I'm not Unc. I had to just accept that.
Yo,
really
you Unc now, bro.
I'm really
when you hit 30, you Unc, dog. That's crazy. It's crazy how time just flew like that. But I'm, you know, what I want to do like soon. I'm looking into open up a gym, man. Okay. And I'm trying to get me, you know, a nice training facility. And then I want to expand it, you know, more, you know, to more than that. But you know, it's just like you gotta be willing to you know walk the journey of like being at the ground level of everything, looking up at your dream of what you wanted to be like. And, you know, other people can't really see it, but it's like, you know, I see where I want to go. Yeah. And I really want to change. I want to do a lot of things. I want to change the AAU atmosphere, right? I want to. That's crazy. I want to change that.
That's a crazy,
you know,
crazy circuit. They call it the Wild Wild West.
It's crazy.
AAU was getting out of control.
You know, it's wild and it's only getting worse. And I had you know a vision of what that looks like. But I wanted to, you know, give kids an alternative to that. Like it's either right now it's either rec or AAU, and there's kids that's in the middle that don't they not rec, they not AAU. Rec is they ain't teaching you nothing in rec right now, and then in AAU, they want you to be great already. You know what I'm saying? And so. So there's a lot of space there. And another thing is that kids don't play outside no more. So we was outside, bro.
Man, what? You had to force us to
come
in.
We was outside.
Some of my greatest games came from the playground.
Bro.
I had a game at we had a neighborhood game at Rich Neck Elementary School. It was us versus Colony Pines. Yeah. And that thing was like the NBA
lit.
Finals Game 7. Like
lit.
Like what?
And that was just kids coming outside to hoop. Yep. They weren't organized or nothing like that. It was just you on, you like facts. You
I got
on,
next,
and you had to assert yourself, you know, in those scenarios. I remember we was playing at the elementary school around my way, and man, grown men out there, you know, 30 years old, and I'm 12.
Yeah, they not easing up.
They not, foul. You're like what? Check up. You know, so like you know, I think kids aren't being exposed to that type of stuff anymore. And it's causing this big gap between, you know, really skilled kids that can afford to get trained and then kids who can't afford to get trained. They're just doing rec, but they get hit with the reality that they can't make the high school team, they can't make the middle school team or whatever. I need to ask you too. They got middle school squads out here?
Middle school football and basketball.
But they didn't have that when we was growing up, bro.
That was a dream.
That was not.
Dozier, we was loaded.
That's what I'm saying.
We'd have been loaded, bro. We was at Gildersleeve.
So I went to Dozier my 6th grade year. But then I moved to the Nashville area.
I went to Hines 6th grade. So I would say I came 7th grade. I would say I don't remember you.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was there my 6th grade year, and then actually my wife went to Dozier too.
Tiffany went to Dozier.
And then so I moved from that Denby uptown area to the Nashville area. So I went to Gildersleeve. Okay. And so I went to Gildersleeve. 7th and 8th. Yeah. So yeah, I want to say it might have went there in 6th grade too, but it might have just been the second half of the year. Okay. So that's crazy. Like middle school ball won't, like we had the gyms, we had the facility, but we was just like
We had remember Hot Shots? Remember that?
Yeah,
It was like
yeah.
that's the closest thing we had.
Yeah, and
They
then
got full blown teams, nice uniforms,
yeah, that's crazy.
championship games, and they be packed out. I'm like, yo,
Yeah,
y'all don't know how good y'all got it.
I'm like, what? Like, so I'm up in the 804 area now, and they got the middle school squads and they got tryouts and stuff, and a lot of the elementary school kids, have to they got to try out for, but they come in for rec, and everybody make the rec team. And matter of fact, in AAU, everybody pretty much makes the AAU team. They'll take your money.
Yeah,
right.
Come on.
ain't no
take that money. Yeah,
ain't no tryouts, no more for AAU like that. And so these kids are coming from elementary school going into middle school, and then they're not ready for the, like, yo, you got to work for this. Like you ain't just automatically on the squad.
Yeah.
And the same thing with AAU, people just going and they paying to play. And most of them are riding the bench, but you can find a squad where you can play on. Yeah. Back in the day, if you weren't invited to the Boo Williams tryout, you wasn't.
No, sir.
There was no other way to get on the squad other than going to the tryout that you was invited to, and then making the squad that way. And so, man, that was a total different, like.
What's crazy is I tried out for AAU once. I don't even remember what team it was, but the invite came kind of like third party, and we went to it, and I played okay, but they didn't pick me, right? And I never forget my dad going over there and was like, because I don't think and it's cool, I appreciate it now, I don't think they knew who he was or who I was. They just made the decision off, either I was good enough or they had their guys kind of already pre-picked.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad going over there kind of getting defensive. Yeah. Because I think the way they picked it was kind of like, yo, you good.
It's
and
crazy.
The rest of y'all kind of. So my dad was like, yo, hold on, we ain't come here for all that anyway. We good. Yeah. And now I see, Pops was trying to protect me. Not that he needed to, but at the same time, it was like, yo, like, he didn't do the hold on, I'm Coach Tommy Reamon, blah, blah, blah. We took the L and kept it moving. Yeah, like, know what I mean? Yeah. And I always stuck out to me. I'm like, yo, if you want to make AAU, I got to work a little harder. Yeah, like, yo, I'm pretty good, but nah, you want to make the squads? So, and it's like, who knows what the politics was behind that or whatnot. Yeah. But it always stuck out to me. It was like, yeah, though, I was coming from the outside in. Yeah. It's like, yo, like, you got to be like that, that. Because these dudes already can hoop. Like, this mob that we came from last year that's moving up, they can hoop. And it's like, yo, you just ain't about to come infiltrate that unless you really.
Bruh, I'm telling you.
Look, we good on your money. Like, nah, you ain't good enough.
I'm telling you, because, like, there was very few teams back then. And so, like, I remember, like, I was probably dropping, like, 20 points a game in rec league. And that's how you got invited. Like, somebody seen you playing and like, oh, nah, we need, such and such to come out here and play. And, like, but, like, dropping 20 points a game, like, that was what it took to get there. Like, a lot of these kids, they not even at that point yet at the rec league, you know what I'm saying? Like, where they going crazy and they, then they're getting on the AAU squad. So, it's a lot of politics and that stuff. But
did you play in the All-Star game? Was it not BC Charles?
BC Charles.
It was an All-Star game. They treated it like the NBA. Like, we all wore our own jerseys, I believe, but we played it like a high school. Who else was in that game? I feel like you were there. I know you played a lot of basketball. My memory of basketball.
What year was this? Like, it was like
we had to be. Like the 11-ish, 12-ish.
11, 12?
It definitely wasn't like older middle school. It might have been like 10.
I know I did play.
What's all the leagues you played in?
I mean, after I got into high school, I only played high school ball.
Yeah. So growing up with like the Warwick Rats.
I know I played summer league. Downtown. They had the games at the what's that facility downtown?
Tennis Center.
Yeah. Yep. And so they played it out there, but they also played it over there where that church is over by Coliseum.
The outside.
The outside joint. Yeah.
Future League.
Yeah, Future League. Yeah.
So yeah, this was way before that. We were still kind of.
Okay. So no,
we were still kind of young.
I think I've strictly played rec with because you had to try out then too for rec, because they had they gave you numbers,
Yeah.
and you would and they had draft picks
Mhm.
or
I remember
whatever.
the drafts,
So
yeah.
they would draft you or whatever.
My pops would go into
So
the draft with like
that
5 kids already.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I got my son and these kids. And,
Yeah.
like, people would be mad at my dad because he'd go in there with like a preset team.
Yeah.
So pops probably did use his leverage on that.
Hey, look, but see, I mean that's how it was though, and I think so. That was just a Newport News, city league right there, and so that was probably the only league I played with, and then I played AAU ball, with Boo, and we that one year we went like top 10 in the nation. We had Tavy, we had who we had on that squad. Shazer was on that joint.
Daryl Shazer.
Yeah, it was a squad. I want to say PJ was on the joint.
Okay. Y'all was loaded.
PJ, who else was on that squad? We had a lot of talent. And Mike was on the joint.
That's a mob.
Yeah. That squad, I was on the bench a lot. You know what I'm saying? But when I got in, I was I think we was just so stacked. It really didn't matter who you picked to put in there. It was just like whoever was hot at the time.
One thing about me, no matter how good I thought I was, Daryl Shazer humbled me every single time we played, bro. I'm like, yo, he didn't miss, bro. Like, he had a shot, and I'm like, bro, like. Yeah. His cousin Jana grew up across the street from me. So it was times like, yo, I only wanted to see him when I had to because we kept losing. He'll pop up over there, and I'm just like, yo, this guy.
So Shay's like my brother, man. Like when we grew up, like, his dad really nurtured that like competitive like nature. So like I remember, summer nights I just go, we go over there and me and Shay just be going at it. Like, and I can probably count on one hand how many times I beat Shays. Like, and we done hooped over. Like, but he was always that person that kind of like pushed me to be a better player. And but like as far as like talent and just raw like go get it mindset, Shays, was on that level. That's what got him to the next level. Just that attitude. But yeah, man. It's so many stories we can go through.
We can go on for days and days and days about it, man.